So as you guys know, about a week ago, we got a big update to Modern Warfare, update 1.23, and this update affected a whole bunch of weapons in the game. And this was to specifically affect the good weapons in Warzone. The Grau got nerfed, the MP5 got nerfed, and before this update, Warzone was basically the Grau and MP5 show. Everyone was using them. Basically every lobby was full of these two weapons. Now, in today's video, we are going to be going over what are the 5 best loadouts after this update, because they have quite drastically changed, not necessarily because of that nerf, but in a lot of cases because other weapons actually got buffed. So in this video, we are going to be going over what 5 classes I have been using since this update and what I believe are the best loadouts, class setups, and everything like that currently in Warzone. And hopefully, I'll be able to help you guys get some more wins with these. Speaking of Warzone, I am going to be playing some live today over on Twitch. As always, it's the first link down in the description. And currently right now on Twitch, there are new drops. So simply by watching my stream and having your Twitch and Activision accounts linked, you can actually earn free items just by watching my stream. And I'm going to be live as soon as this video goes live. So if you want to earn yourself some items, if you want to check out the stream, as always, first link down in the description, and hopefully I see you there today. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, the 2 main weapons that really got nerfed within the last update were the Grau and the MP5. But they didn't really get nerfed that much. So the first class we have here is just the classic class that I was using in the beginning of Season 4, and it is the Grau and MP5. Honestly, they may still be the best weapons in the game. I think there's one assault rifle that's better. We're going to talk about that in a second. But this class is literally the Grau MP5. They are both extremely, extremely good. So first of all, looking at this class, we first need to look at the perks, lethal and tactical. They are going to be the same on absolutely every single one of my classes. So as far as perks goes, I am going to be using EOD on all of my classes. This counteracts C4s, RPGs, things along those lines. Also overkill, this is so I can use 2 weapons, pretty straightforward. And then I used Amped. Amp is so that I can switch between weapons faster and be more prepared for gunfights. The only one that I might change every once in a while is EOD for cold-blooded, but with current meta, I really think it's better to use EOD because I think more people are using SMGs and ARs than are using sniper rifles with thermals now. So that's pretty much what I recommend on all of my classes. Also, C4s, they're just the best explosive if you ask me, and then heartbeat sensor. The reason why I'm using this is simple. It shows you where enemies are as long as they don't have ghost on. If you're not using heartbeat sensor, or if you have a team full of heartbeat sensors, just use a stun or flash grenade, something along those lines. Now, as far as the actual weapons, starting off with the Grau, this is the exact same Grau class I have been using since the beginning. So, monolithic suppressor keeps you off the minimap. The Archangel barrel, this improves your damage range. On top of that, your bullet velocity and recoil control with a slight decrease to your aim down sight speed and movement speed. Now to counteract that, I am using a tac laser. It makes your aim down sight speed a little bit faster. On top of this, I'm using a commando foregrip just to reduce that recoil a little bit, and 60 round mags to make it so that I can take out a full team with my ammunition. This gun was supposed to get nerfed mainly with its damage range and recoil. It got nerfed a little bit with the recoil. This thing is still deadly accurate, and basically with this class, it's still a god tier weapon. Like I said, I think it's the 2nd best assault rifle. On top of this, we are using the MP5. This is probably still one of, if not the best SMG in the game. And this class is a little bit changed from previously. So first of all, you're using the subsonic integral suppressor. This actually improves the range over top of the mono suppressor. So use this, do not use the mono suppressor. On top of this, tac laser just to increase that aim down sight speed. Now, a new one is we are using the Merc foregrip. First of all, this decreases recoil, but there's actually a hidden buff on this one. It actually improves your movement speed. So on a lot of my SMGs, I use this so that I can run around the map a little bit faster. And on top of that, you still get the recoil control that you would from any other thing. For example, the commando grip. On top of this, we are using the 45 round mags just to improve that magazine size, be able to get more kills, and the stippled grip tape to make it so that you sprint to fire and aim down sights faster. The basic way you want to be looking at this class is your Grau is for your long and mid range, and your MP5 is for short range. With the most recent nerf, the most noticeable nerf to the MP5 is the range on it. So basically, you want to be using this up close and personal. That is where it's the best. That is where it's the best gun in the game. So what you want to do is use the MP5 up close, Grau at long range, and since the Grau has such low recoil, it makes it very, very easy to do so. But as I was saying, I don't think the Grau is the best AR currently in the game. So if that's not, what is. In my opinion, the new best AR is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the new FAL. So this thing got a buff in the most recent update. It was actually decent before, but now it's just kind of incredible. This gun can be a minimum of 3 shots to kill. If you get 2 headshots and a body shot, or 1 headshot and 2 body shots, it's a 3 bullet kill. So big bonus there. But on top of this, it's incredibly accurate, has a fast aim down sights time, and definitely a big enough magazine to take on team fights. So this class is honestly kind of squirrely. The one downside to the FAL is recoil, and you can really counteract that with this class. So first of all, monolithic suppressor in and of itself improves the damage range and sound suppression. You don't show up on the map, and you have longer damage range. Very important to stay off that map as well. But with the XRK marksman, you improve the damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. So boom, that's 1 recoil control. The second of which is actually the VLK 3x optic. So not only are you getting an optic and you can use this thing a little bit more like a sniper, but on top of that, it makes it so that this weapon has less recoil. It's once again a hidden buff to an attachment. So this thing is a huge plus. I really recommend using it. It's not a must, but in my opinion, it really helps out the class. Also, once again, using that Merc foregrip to improve that recoil control, hip fire accuracy, and also, like we mentioned before, it's also going to improve your movement speed a little bit as well. And then the 30 round mag, this is just to make it so that if you're playing trios or quads, you have enough bullets to really take on the enemy. This gun is legitimately squirrely. I really recommend trying this out. I know it's strange getting used to a semi-automatic weapon, but once you do, this thing shreds like no other. Now, the second weapon we're using on this class is the MP7. Essentially, whenever I'm using an SMG, it's either the MP7 or MP5. They're the 2 best SMGs. One is a little bit better at something than another, and we're going to talk about that in a second. So the attachments on this are, once again, mono suppressor. You're going to use that on pretty much everything. On top of this, the FSS recon barrel. This is going to improve, once again, damage range and recoil control, both important. On top of this, tac laser. This is going to improve your aim down sight speed. This is important on this weapon and on any SMG because basically you're going to be using these at close range. You need that fast aim down sights and sprint out time, which is also why we are using the stippled grip tape. And then finally, the 60 round mags, because when you're playing trios and quads, you need that extra magazine to take on full enemy teams. Now, why did I say the MP7 is better in certain situations than the MP5? With the most recent update, the range on the MP5 is nerfed, and there is less recoil on the MP7, which means at mid to longer range, not long range because you're using this with a FAL, you might as well use the FAL at long range, but at those ranges, the MP7 is better. It has a better time to kill, and it's more accurate, so that's when this is better. However, at short range, the MP5 is much better. So you kind of have to just decide based off of which SMG you're using, which ranges you're going to actually use it at. And with the MP7, I use it at short to mid range, whereas the MP5, I only use it at short range. So choose based off whatever weapon you're using, which SMG is best for you. Honestly, in this class, it's very doable to actually replace this MP7 with an MP5, and the class might even be better or the same. Now, the third class here is honestly a shocker to me. I didn't expect to be making a best class setup with this gun, but it's the Brewin. The Brewin is by far the best LMG currently in the game, and with this class setup, it absolutely shreds. In fact, you almost make it a little bit more like an assault rifle with very low recoil and a lot of bullets in it. So the class that we're using is this. So this class is a little bit strange, and it just kind of works. You're gonna have to see what I'm talking about in a second, but once again, using the mono suppressor, and then the barrel that we're using is the Horizon. Now, you may be wondering why not use the Summit that has recoil control, and that is because we don't want to reduce the movement speed. Now, you may be wondering, if we don't want to reduce the movement speed, why don't we just use the Merc foregrip instead of the Commando foregrip? And it's simple. I find that the Commando foregrip actually reduces the recoil a little bit more, and the Brewin has a little bit more recoil compared to other weapons like the Grau. Now, once again, for that recoil, we are using the VLK 3x optic, and then the 60 round mags. Now, why not use the 200 rounds or the 100 that the weapon comes with? This is simple. It improves your aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and pretty much everything else on the weapon. And you still get 60 rounds in a magazine, and you can very easily take out 3 to 4 people with one magazine of this, as you saw in the original clip there. So this class is very low recoil, and it performs a little bit more like an assault rifle with these 60 round mags, and that's why this class is really good. I definitely recommend giving this one a shot. It actually wasn't buffed in this update, but it's just kind of a hidden gem that I wasn't using because I was so stuck in my ways using the Grau before it got nerfed. And then as far as the rest of the class, I'm using the MP5 with this one one simply because the Brewin's good at mid and long range, so I want something that excels in short range, and that is exactly what the MP5 does with the exact same attachments that we talked about before. Now, all of the classes that we've talked about so far are kind of my more aggressive classes, an assault rifle or an LMG with an SMG. The SMG you can use to run around really quick around the map, get to your location, and then take people out at long range with your assault rifle or LMG. This one's more of an old school class using an assault rifle and a sniper rifle. The problem with this class is you can't move around really quick like you can with an SMG, so that's the one downside to this class, but if you're a less aggressive player, this may be for you. The reason why I said this is kind of an old school class is because I'm using the M4, and this gun is still good. It's probably the third best assault rifle behind the Grau and the FAL, and this one, once again, monolithic suppressor. This time we're using the M16 stock. This improves the damage range and recoil control and bullet velocity, 3 really important stats. On top of this, we are using 60 round mags, stippled grip, and tac laser to improve that aim down sight speed. I don't really need to explain this weapon to you guys. It's been good since the launch of the game. No difference. When the Grau was really good before the nerf, there was no point in using this. Now it's a little bit more competitive like it was before. The second weapon is the HDR, and the big thing that I have changed on this one from the beginning is that I'm no longer using a thermal scope. Too many people were using cold-blooded, and because of that, there was no point in using a thermal, and I find that I can be a little bit more accurate with the variable zoom scope, and it helps me with those longer range snipe fights. Once again, mono suppressor, the 26.9, nice, HDR Pro Barrel, TAC Laser, and F-TAC Stalker Scout. All of those are there to improve the aim down sights time, especially TAC Laser and the Stalker Scout. So why am I using the M4 with a sniper rifle and not, let's say, the Grau? It's simple. The M4 is a little bit better at close range, so I use the M4 almost like a longer range SMG, and then at long range, I am using the sniper rifle. Now, if I was to use the Grau, I'd probably just use the Grau. There's no reason to have a sniper rifle with the Grau because the recoil is so damn low on it. So that's kind of the thinking behind this class. Now, the final class we have here is an aggressive sniping class. In other words, using a sniper rifle with an SMG. Now, here is the class that I use. So with this class, my primary weapon is an SMG, and it's the MP7. Now, I'm going to go in depth in a second why it's the MP7, not the MP5, even though I think the MP5 is a little bit better. But first, let's look at the Car 98K setup, because the MP7 is exactly the same as the one we looked at before. This one, we have the mono suppressor, for obvious reasons. It's on literally every weapon. The 27.6 barrel, this one improves the damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. You need that extra damage range. You need that extra bullet velocity. And then with this one, I'm using the TAC laser, a sniper scope for obvious reasons, and then the stippled grip to improve the aim down sights time. Now, the thing with the Car 98 is that to get a one-shot kill, you have to hit someone in the head. If you hit them in the body, it's not a two-shot kill like the AX50 or HDR. It is a three-shot kill with full armor. So, for having good accuracy, you're rewarded greatly. So for when you're playing with a team who is using HDRs, if you're the one using the Car 98, you can still get a one-shot kill to the body if one of your teammates hits a body shot first. Now, if you're accurate with this, you are rewarded greatly, and that's when you get the headshots. Now, why am I using an MP7 with this and not an MP5? I like to have an SMG to run around faster. I won't be bogged down with the slow movement of an AR, but like I said before, the MP7 is still good at range. So at that mid-range, you still have a weapon that is really good, and then at the long range, you're able to pull out the sniper rifle. That is the magic of this class. It's a lot of fun to use. Yes, there's a bigger skill gap because you got to hit headshots with the sniper, but like I said, a lot of fun to use, and it's a really good class at that. So those are my current 5 class setups that I'm using. I think they're the best in the game. If you use something else, feel free to let me know what you think down in the comments. I really think that if you guys give these a shot, you will get more wins, especially with that FAL class. That thing is insane, and they're probably going to nerf it, so use it now while you still can. But like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, if it helped you out, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you like what you see and want to stay up to date on all my videos, the best way to do so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. We're on that road to 1 million subscribers, so if you want to join, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, hopefully I see you in the live stream tonight, but I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, peace out. We are